Hey besties, it's Becky here with Bestie Becky's Crafts, and today I'm going to do a tutorial on what is called One Sheet Wonder cards. You can get a bunch of cards out of one sheet of paper, and this is perfect for Christmas cards. And it is July, and Christmas is just around the corner. Not really, but it'll be here before we know it. And so I thought this would be a great time to show how you can get a bunch of cards made quickly, and they're all a little different and really easy. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, this I'm using is a piece of paper that is 8.5 by 11. So you can use any cardstock that you have that's 8.5 by 11. You could use white cardstock and you could stamp images on it, or you could just cut out white and then once you put your cards together kind of figure out what you want to do. But I am going to use a piece of designer cardstock that looks like this, and it is 12 by 12, but I'm going to go ahead and cut it down to the size that I need. And you're going, how can this make cards? Well, this is what you get. Alright, so really super easy. So let's go ahead and get started. And I will put a picture of this on my Instagram account, which the link will be below, and that way you can go ahead and get the measurements for it off of there. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my sheet of paper down to 8.5 by 11 just to get started. And that way, if you are doing an 8.5 by 11 sheet, we'll all be starting at the same spot. So I'm going to go ahead and do my 8.5. And there's my 11. Okay, so now by my directions I need to cut off this 1/4 inch over here, so it takes it to 8.25. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So cut it to 8.25. Pretty simple. Alright, and now my next cut is, I'm going to do this one because it goes straight across, and it's a 5-inch cut. So on the 11-inch side, I'm going to cut down 5 inches. Okay, see that? So I'm going to turn my paper, and I'm going to cut at 5 inches. I'm going to set this off to the side, set it off to the side, and work with this paper. So we know it's 5 inches this way, and I need to cut it at 3 1/8. So I'll do that, 3 1/8. Now I like to set them off to the side in the order as I cut them, because that'll help in making cards. So that was my 3 1/8 by 5-inch cut. Now I need a 3-inch cut. Set that off to the side, and what I should have left is 2 1/8. And that's what I got. It's 2 1/8. Alright? So again, put that off to the side. Now we're going to do our next cut. So as you can see, our next cut is 3 inches down, because it's 3 inches all the way across. So I'm going to take my paper where the 8 1/4 inch side is, and what do we have left? 6 inches, and I'm going to head and cut this at 3 inches. Set that last piece of paper off to the side, and now I have this piece of paper, which is my second row. and I'm going to cut it at 3.5 inches. So it's 3 inches this way by 8 1/4, and I'm going to cut it at 3.5 inches. And I'm going to put that off to the side. Now, this one's a little bit trickier, but it's not difficult at all. It already measures 4 3/4 this way because that's what's left. Alright, and of course it's 3 inches tall because that's what we cut it at. But we just need to cut from one corner to the other. Simple enough to do. So, all you do is line up on your paper cutter your corner and a corner in your cutting area and hold it tight, and there you go. You've got your 2 triangles. Alright. Now, our last row, pretty easy because this is all that we have left. So, we need to cut at 3 1/16. Strange number, right? Alright, so 3 1/16. Another 3 1/16. Okay, so that should leave us with 2 1/8, which it does. So we've got the mats for our cards, the start of our cards made. Now, this makes 9 cards. Okay, if you check on, like Pinterest or YouTube, you can find where they use actual 12 by 12 papers and give you where you can make more cards or whatever you like. I thought this one was just simple, and so that's why I chose to do this one. It just kind of gives you an idea of what you can do to make a bunch of cards. So now that we have our designer paper cut, now we need to cut our card base. And I tried to make this pretty simple. This is another 8.5 by 11 inch piece of paper, and what I did was I cut it in half. So where the 11-inch side is, I cut it at, well, first of all, it's 8.5, and I wanted 8 inches, so I cut it at 8 inches. Okay, and then I'm going to cut cut it in half at 4, and that's not right. Well, surprise, surprise, right? See? Sometimes I even make a mistake. But I don't want to start all over again, so we'll just get a new piece of paper. Okay, so we are going to cut at 5.5. So we're going to cut our 11-inch side in half, 5.5, and it's an 8.5 sheet, but I only want 8 inches, so I'm going to cut that down. And you know what, when I first did this, I did the same exact thing. So don't worry about it, and don't be surprised. And then you're going to want to score in the middle. And I don't have my scoring board handy, so I'm just going to fold. You're going to put a nice crease with your bone folder, and you're going to score all of them. So you will need 5 pieces of cardstock, white cardstock, or whatever you want your base color to be, and cut them at 5.5 by 8. Do you get that? Since I screwed up. 5.5 by 8, and score at 4. And so there we have our card base. And like I said, you're going to need 5 pieces of white cardstock to give you the 9 card bases that you need. Alright? So, there's that. And then you'll need a couple pieces of paper, cardstock that match your designer paper that I used here. And I picked a purple and a blue. And I kind of went with snowflakes because it's just kind of generic. And then you'll use different things to decorate your cards. And it's kind of up to you what you want to do. I used punches. I used Martha Stewart Border Punch, and I'm not sure what brand, EK. Snowflake Punch here. I also used a stamp set. I used a stamp set called Simply Snowflakes from My Favorite Things, and it came with its own set of dies. And also this stamp set, and I used the Sending a Snowfall, a Blessings Your Way, because I thought it fit the snowflake theme. I also used circle die cuts because I didn't have punches that worked with the size circle that I needed. And I think that's about it. And some bling and glue. And I'll go ahead and show you what I made. Now, what I made is not set in stone, okay? What you cut out is a piece of cardstock that fits on your card, and you can decorate it, do with it whatever you want. What I did with this one for card number 1 is I matted it with purple, used the Martha Stewart edge punch there, I stamped a snowflake, cut it out with a circle, put bling on the corner, and then I put it on foam dots to raise it up a little bit. So, and if you notice, there's just a little bit, my card is a little bit short, but you know what? I didn't cut these shorter. I just left them at the 8.5 and just folded them in half, which you can do too. You don't think it's not set in stone. Oh my goodness. So, this is how I decorated my number 1. Here. Simple. So, I decorated the front of all of mine first, and then I did the inside. So, let's go to the second one, which again was a 3x5. I can't pick it up. A 3x5 mat. And this is what I did with this one. I cut a mat to fit behind it. I decorative punched the edges with my decorative curve corner punch. I made a sign that says Peaceful Greetings. I put a couple stripes on it and put bling in the corner. Pretty simple, right? So this is where your freedom is to do whatever you want with your cards. So now for my third one, which is our 2 1/8 by 5 inch piece, which is this one here. This one I turned my card on the side and went this way. and I made a mat to go behind it, stamped a snowflake, cut it out with a circle, added bling, and I put my snowflake on foam tape just to pop it up. So you can make them as decorative as you want, or as non-decorative as you want, but it really goes pretty fast, which I liked because I punched, or stamped a bunch of snowflakes and, did a couple of the sayings, peaceful greetings, and it goes pretty fast. So, okay, so for number 4, here's my number 4. Alright, so number 4, I did this way also. And what I did, you see it opens this way, but it doesn't have to open this way, you can do it however you want it. I did a mat, there's my triangle, snowflake, and bling. Again, pretty easy. And then for number 5, which you should see on my sheet of paper again, is in the other triangle, right here. This time, I had it open from the bottom, like so. So let me turn this way. And I ended up putting my triangle down here. Mat, which, is the same size mat as this one, only different color. So you could use same colors. You don't have to use different colors like I did, but it's the same size mat. And then all I did was a stripe and a snowflake on foam and some bling. And then number 6 over here was a 3.5 by 3 inch square. Almost said circle. Oh, scary. Okay. There, I did it this way. And let's see, measure, because it's pretty close. Just cut a mat, did a stripe, peaceful greetings on a piece of white cardstock and rounded the edges and some bling. So there's my 6th card. Alright, now 7th card is this one down here at the bottom, the 3 1/16 by 3 inch. And this one, I had it open at the bottom, and this is really, really close. So, doesn't really matter which way. Matted it, stripe, snowflake, cut it out with a circle, bling, done. So that was number 7. And number 8 is the same size of square. So I cut the same size mat, just different color, and matted it peaceful greetings, which is just like I did here, same size, same everything, just different colors. And then I cut a strip to go down here, and I used my punch. I think it was, no, not this one. I have a smaller one. This punch from Recollections, I think, yeah. A 5/8 inch snowflake. I used this one, and I cut out snowflakes, put down here, and then just added bling to the snowflakes. And then my last card, number 9, was 2 1/8 by 3 inch. And I matted it, but what I did was I extended the mat so that I could put some bling down at the bottom. Smaller snowflake, cut it out with a circle, put it on foam tape, I put a strip at the bottom, used the same punch, and punched out more blue snowflakes like I did on the last card, and just put some bling on them. Now, they're going to go to separate people, so other people aren't going to see what you did. So if you kind of do the same ideas over and over again, it's not going to matter because they're not going to see it. So once I got my card fronts done, then I wanted to stamp the inside. So what I did was I set up my Misty, and I lined up my cards in there and where I wanted my greeting to be, like so. You can see that. My Misty's a mess. And then I just stamped the inside on all the cards that open this way. I just stamped all of them. I used to use a light, crystal blue ink. It just matched my paper. And so I just stamped all the cards that opened this way, and then all the cards that opened the other way. Oops. Oh, there we go. Okay. And then all the other cards that opened the other way, I did the same thing. I just moved the greeting a different way and just stamped all those so that went super fast. When you have it in your Misty and it's lined up, and you just put your card in there and put your magnets on. And then I just punched a big purple snowflake 9 times, glued it in the corner. And of course, if you know me, you know I always put something on the back. And so I just made 9 of these real quick, punched them out, stamped them really quick, and glued them on. So, super easy, super fast, 9 cards, just like that. So, I think you do that a couple times. Got 18 cards. You send out more than that, you're set. Oh, I lost a gem. There we go. And all of this started with a piece of paper 8.5 by 11. So, like I said, I will put a picture of this on my Instagram account, and you will see the link below so that you can see how it was cut out. And I hope you give it a try, because it was really fun, really easy. You don't need to use it just for Christmas cards. You could use it for birthday or any other cards. You could even do a bunch of, random cards. Some thinking of you, some sympathy, some happy birthday. Just kind of depending on what paper you use. So, that's it. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Hi, Mom. Hi, Irina. Hi, Dara. And everyone, keep crafting and give this a try. Give you a good head start on your Christmas cards. Bye.